Hey, what's up, Roxstars? Welcome back to the channel. All right, you guys. Yeah, I'm trying to get it together because I've been at Don Jackson in Union City for like 4 hours trying to get my, just about 4 hours trying to get the oil changed in my car. Went to the express lane, mind you. And yeah. Just finished my car, got there at 7:40, drove off the lot at 11:20, okay? Was very irritated. They done ran my pressure. The manager was nice enough. He didn't charge me for my oil change, but the point of the matter is, if you have an express fucking lane, you should not say it's express. 4 hours, half of your day is not express. And that's all I was trying to explain to the man. If you tell me that I need to leave my car there because it's going to be half the day before I get my shit back, then I make preparations for that. Don't tell me it's going to be express, and then I'm sitting there for 4 hours. Okay? So, I tried not to go off on them bad or anything. I didn't yell, I didn't curse. But you see what I'm saying? So, anyway, you guys, I've been tweeting about it all morning because I've just been irritated. But anyway, I got Foxy back. The studio is back in action. You know, they come telling me some shit about some leak or something. Look, give me my fucking car. Anyway, you guys, yeah. Let's talk about YSAPGotTheRona. Let's talk about the vice presidential debates from last night. Let's talk about the stimulus relief bill. Let's talk about voting, suppressing the vote, and let's talk about let's do a little follow-up on the George Floyd case. All right, let's get to it. All right, you guys, so I know many of you guys are waiting for me to do a video on it last week when YSAP announced that he and his wife Melania have the Rona. I must tell you that I actually thought about doing a video, but I'm telling you, I needed a break so bad. Like, I had really pushed hard at the end of the month because I had put this goal in my mind of what I wanted to make on my channel. And so, like, after it was done, I was like, fuck that channel. Rocky, love y'all. For real, I do. It's not fuck y'all. It's not fuck y'all. Okay? Love each and every one of you. But yeah, I needed a break. And I was like, YSAP will not make me come back to talk about his fucking ass. So, yeah, you guys. And when I saw that, I didn't know what to say. Like, I read New York Times every morning. And when I saw, that was the very first thing when I opened up my phone, I saw that and I was just like, I mean, I didn't know what to say. You know, of course, I ain't one for wishing shit on people, but, I just read that and I was just like, well, I mean, hey, he's human, right? And humans are susceptible to this disease. You go around, you're not trying to take any type of measures to protect yourself from the virus, then, it's inevitable. This is what happens. All right. So I was just sort of like, well, I mean, I guess. So I posted it on social media. Of course, everybody had already heard about it because it had happened the night before. I guess I had gone to sleep before he announced it, like at 1 o'clock in the morning. So in the middle of the night, Thursday, well, going into Friday, is when he announced it. And I was just sort of like, well, we'll see how this goes, right? Well, by, I guess, the end of Friday, he was on his way to the hospital. And then Saturday morning, we get the report from the doctors, this overwhelmingly bright and, sunny report that he's doing well. And, and then as time goes on and they do these briefings, the very next day, of course, people have questions like, when did he last test negative? Okay. When was his first positive test? They've been real sketchy on that. I think we all can agree that he was positive way longer than they told us. And that is probably because they have now admitted that he was not getting daily coronavirus tests. Okay. They were not up on it. So it's no telling when this man might have had his last test. That's why they couldn't tell you when his last negative test was, because if they come around here talking about some damn June and we in fucking October, then what? Okay. Considering the fact that he has been all over the place, campaigning for this next bid. So it's just sort of like, I mean, I knew right then when the doctor was like, oh, I'm not going to get into the, I'm not going to get into when he last tested negative, or I'm not going to get into the, they don't. Well, what we don't realize as just regular laymen's is there are certain things in the corona. What they don't know about coronavirus is still extensive, but they do still know a lot about coronavirus, meaning your symptoms, what happens to your body as time goes on, the contagious period, the times when there should be some things happening in your body. If you are having a severe attack of COVID-19, what it does to your organs, your breathing, all of these things. So it was clear to medical professionals, especially, that the doctor wouldn't answer certain things because then it would give you a clue as to when exactly he may have contracted the virus. All right. And then we would have to go back and talk about the fact that he had just done a debate on Tuesday, had just been going around wanting to confirm, the Amy Baird, the Supreme Justice lady. He's been around, he's campaigning. So then it becomes a moral issue. You out here willy-nilly, you infecting people. You don't care because obviously you felt okay, and then them symptoms finally decided to come down on that ass, and then all of a sudden it was just like, oh, he has, because it's like you don't get, if you were doing this daily, then if I got a negative test yesterday and then a positive test today, then I think generally the virus would take, 3 to 5 days for the, the symptom. I mean, you to start feeling it. And then you start maybe having labored breathing, or you might feel sick, or, malaise, because they said that you feel very tired, all of this. It doesn't normally happen in a day. Okay. So I was just like, that motherfucker had it and Ben had it. Ain't no telling when he had it. He up here at the damn debate with, 77-year-old Joe Biden. I almost feel like he almost felt like maybe it would be good if he can go on and give it to him. He probably felt like, because he's felt so good, that maybe he was asymptomatic, and that he can continue on and maybe possibly even infect Joe. I mean, ain't no telling what could have been what he wanted to do. Okay. I was actually surprised that a lot of people were saying that he didn't have the virus. I'm not a political professional by any means, but I don't see how him having the virus and actually admitting to it was going to help him politically. Okay. I know that we are just so used to not believe in the government, especially right now. I know that he was trying to push this vaccine and trying to do all of that, but I was like, this seems like an awful long way around, trying to get the vaccine approved. I mean, fuck, we are less than a month away from the election now. So I was just like, yeah, I really think this man is sick. Okay. Not only that, but there are a lot of people in his camp, that are around him who have it. And to me, if you were trying to, it would have been different if they would have just said that he had it, or maybe him and Melania. Okay. That would make sense. That would be assuming that they sleep in the same fucking bed. I know Melania's like, get your big ass away from me, but, it would make sense that them two be in close proximity. Yeah. Maybe somebody that's always with him, his assistant, but when we talking about, okay, so let me just tell you all the people that have it so far. Okay. Now we've got YSAP, we've got Melania, we've got Hope Hicks. Okay. She is the aide to Trump. We got, Kayleigh McElhaney, whatever the fuck her name is, the press secretary. We have Nicholas Luna, who's the assistant to Trump. We have Utah Senator Mike Lee. We have North Carolina Senator Tom Tillis. We have Wisconsin Senator Ron Johnson, Kellyanne Conway, who I still don't know what she is. They called her the counselor to, she probably had the same job that Omarosa had, you know, fucking the damn president probably. Caroline Levitt and Chad Gilmartin. They were both assistant press secretaries, and then senior advisor Stephen Miller, campaign manager Bill Steffen, RNC chairwoman Rona McDaniel, and Chris Christie, okay, who is, you guys know who he is, New Jersey mayor, whatever. Anyway, all of these people have the virus, okay? If we was going to be trying to really have some sort of, it's hard to keep a lie together when you involve more people. The more people you involve, it's harder to try to keep that thing going. So if it would have just been him and another person, him and Melania, like I said, maybe, but all of these people, no. No. They had to tell everybody, because what if he really did get really, really sick, you know? So they've been very, very cagey and not want to tell us about whatever is going on with him. You know, that leaves me to my own assumptions. Granted, the man is not going to die, obviously. He has access to all the best of everything, and they're going to make sure that he doesn't die, okay? But it's just a shame that that doctor has put his credibility on the line for YSAP. I understand that he's doing it now because he's in the position, but like in the future, I can't see. You know, it's amazing to me that them doctors could stand up there. Well, the other doctors didn't say anything, but that main one, what's his last name? Connolly or something like that. You know, for him to say that, you know, I'm not going to get into this, I'm not going to say that, try to throw out the HIPAA laws. Okay, on CNN, they actually have the woman on there who was one of the ones who helped write up the HIPAA laws. And she said, HIPAA only protects the person if the person doesn't give permission for their medical history to be put out there. If the person gives that permission, then have at it. Okay, so clearly YSAP does not want to be transparent and does not want people to know, because like I said, it'll go back to when it happened and why the fuck is he going around still, you know, infecting people. So that's that. The man got out because he could tell that this infection was not doing well. This virus was not doing well for his polling numbers. You know, people now were saying, because people were saying, oh, people are going to feel sorry for him because he's sick. And yeah, some people did feel sorry for him, but I think more people started to feel like, well, you can't even keep your ass from getting sick. And you trying to tell people, you know, people just so fucking tired and over it. Okay. So his numbers began to drop again. So then he was like, I got to get out of here. All right. On top of that, there's probably a security problem. You know, him being at a hospital, Walter Reed Hospital is not built to have, I mean, it's good for, you know, I'm sure they have high official people there, but it's not going to be like the White House. Okay. And the White House still has access to all of that. So they was like, yeah, let's get him back there. So, he goes back. It's a big spectacle. It's a big production. He walks up the front of the White House stairs, which you never really see him or anybody else do. They usually take a back entrance, and he you know, gets in the front, and then he takes a picture, you know, takes off his mask and, you know, in defiance, and puts it in his pocket, and he stands there, you know, and he's got on his red, white, and blue, you know, suit, not stripes. The suit is blue and his tie was red, but, you know, he's pointing and he's all this. He doesn't have a mask on. He's got all these people around him who don't have masks on. He turns around, he goes inside, and then he comes back out to reshoot it, because they're filming a propagational type of video for his campaign. I was watching that. I tweeted. I was like, I feel like I'm in the fucking Twilight Zone. Like, I don't even know what, like, I don't even get mad no more because I just laugh because I'm just like, this motherfucker is crazy. When people now say, why are you voting for Joe Biden? I just be like, because the nigga is normal. Because he is sane. Because somebody is going to be the president, whether it is YSAP or Biden, and given the two choices, yeah, it's just, I don't, you know, even if you don't like Joe Biden, I mean, he can't be no worse than YSAP. We already know. You guys, I can't because I already know people are still going to be telling me about Biden and the things that he's done in the past. But I mean, you know, so anyway, YSAP got his ass up out of that damn hospital saying that he felt better than ever. And, you know, that he felt like it was a blessing from God getting the virus. And now he knows maybe he's immune now. Fool, you're not immune because you have it, you know. You won't tell us when you got it, so people can't even tell if you still throwing off the cell, you know, the virus to infect other people. You are not immune. They tell us that he's got antibodies, but he might have antibodies because he was given that experimental cocktail from Regeneron, who, by the way, has applied for an emergency like trademark or be able to get this cocktail out to people and all that. I mean, just, y'all, just craziness. He gonna tell people, don't be afraid of the virus. You know, you'll beat this. You know, kind of like, look at me kind of thing. You are YSAP. Okay, the average person doesn't have the access to this. Like they said, one girl they interviewed whose father had died from COVID, she said that her father, like many other people, many of you guys who are watching me know somebody where the hospital has told them, you don't come back until you can't breathe. People not trying to wait until they can't breathe to do something. Can you imagine how panicking and scary that would feel? You know? So then it was insulting for this man to get up here and tell the world that, yeah, coronavirus is no big deal. You know, comparing it back to the flu and all of that, where coronavirus has killed more people, you know, than the flu has 5 times more, you know, in the year than the flu would. It's not the same. It doesn't do the same thing to your body, any of that, you guys. So anyway, I've been trying to make sure I kept all of my points in my head because as time went on, it was just more bullshit and more bullshit and more bullshit. So I was just like, let me just wait till Thursday so that I can, you know, by the time I get around to talking to you guys, then, you know, a whole lot more shit will have happened and I can just put it all together there. But yeah, you guys, now while I was sitting there waiting on my car today, so there's supposed to be a town hall type of debate, which I'm so fucking mad that it didn't happen, because I would have loved to have just seen just the regular Joe Blow, you know, regular city, you know, regular resident of wherever they were going to be, going there and asking questions, you know, not trying to be politically correct and not, you know, being asked questions, you know, just the regular person shit that we want answered. You know, I like town hall meetings better than, you know, just the regular debates that they have. Well, now, because the motherfucker is still sick and won't tell nobody nothing, they said, we're going to have this shit virtually. All right. Well, now he's saying he's not doing it virtually because it's a waste of time and that's not what debating is. And, you know, they can just cut you off anytime they want to. He's not doing that. I was just like, no, you don't want to get up there and have them people asking you all about your damn virus is what it is. Just another way for you to not have to answer to the people. You can live in this bubble and think that everybody looks at you a certain way. But when you get down to just the regular people and they get to asking you, that's when you got, you know, because we saw when he had that little town hall before, you know, I really wanted to see it, but now he say he not going to do it. And it's just sort of like, fine, don't do it then. Y'all, God, I got to turn the air on. and everybody is calling me and texting me. I keep on having to freeze the damn video. What is happening? Is something going on that all these folks keep on calling me? But anyway, so he says he's not doing the town hall, but now he's contemplating doing an event, an in-person event in Pittsburgh, because this is what he craves. Like, he's rewritten in his mind. I don't know what is wrong with that motherfucker. Is crazy. He is just loony fucking tunes, okay? And an egomaniac and a narcissist at the highest level. Those are the type of people who do the things that he do. Like, they just rewrite shit in their mind, and they think that it's supposed to, you know, the way that it's going, they have really wrapped it around a whole nother reality and are continuing on. So yeah, he's special, you guys. He is special. Now, since we are on the topic of YSAP, I guess I might as well bring in the fact that when he got out of the hospital, he decided to put a stop to all of the stimulus relief talk. You know, they had been telling us that the Dems and the Republicans were very close to reaching an agreement. You guys know that there hasn't been anything in place since the end of July, and people out there are suffering, okay? People need their money. People need help on these evictions, these small businesses, these payroll protection. I mean, it is a bunch of shit out there that people need help on. The government has left them hanging since July. So supposedly they were close to a deal. YSAP got out of the hospital and said to put a hold on all of that until after he wins the election. After he wins the election, you know, he's immediately ready to sign everything over, so that, you know, the relief bill can go into action. First the fuck all, you ain't gonna win. Okay, he says that as if to say if he doesn't win, the Relief Act won't happen. It's still going to happen whether you are in place or, because you know that Biden and Harris are going to make sure that that's, you know, they're going to make, it's going to happen is what I'm saying. You saying stop it right now, okay, fine, we can stop it right now, but it's in another 30, 40 days. Well, I guess they maybe would have to wait until January, but I guess this was his way of maybe punishing everybody, or just kind of holding everybody hostage. Like, you won't get your money until, you know, you got to make sure that I'm still in office, kind of thing. And yeah, again, he doesn't care about you guys. He doesn't care about us. He doesn't care about the people. And I'm not just saying black folks. I'm talking about anybody who is not a part of his immediate, and even those people I believe he would throw under the bus if he had to. Okay? He don't care. He don't give a fuck. All right? So, and the funny thing about, well, not funny, but his base, these are people who I know are being directly affected by many of the things that have happened since COVID has happened. So I don't know why we can't seem to get the base to understand that he is an elitist and he is rich and he don't give a fuck about these poor people. Okay? Don't care about the religious folks. He don't care about no Christians. He is not a Christian. Like, child, y'all just got my fucking dandruff so high. And this is exactly why I didn't do the video last week, because I was over it and I wasn't even going to be able to, you know, even smile about it and just be like, that motherfucker crazy, because I was just so mad and over it last week. So, but, yeah, you know, Nancy Pelosi said that he obviously doesn't want to crush this virus if he's putting the end to these talks. These are things that can actually help get people back, you know, on their feet, get businesses back open, maybe help with unemployment. You know, there's so many things that come from this, and you're not trying to make it happen, you know. Then, of course, when the stock market went crazy after he made that announcement, that was only then was when he decided to kind of roll back on some of them things. Okay, later on that day, got to saying, well, wait a minute, let's try to help out the airlines, you know, let's do a little something immediate for them. Oh, well, you know, also maybe we better go on and get these people $1,200 checks, you know, get that out there to them. And then, so he starts to piece back in parts of the bill that he was willing to sign off on. And the Democrats have always said that they don't want to have a little bit by bit, you know, agreements. They want one cohesive, one big act, okay? So that I guess they don't have to keep coming back to the negotiating table. And you know, so it's just like, let's do this shit now and get it done. But, you know, so that's what it is. So like I told you guys, there's so much chaos surrounding all of this. It's just craziness. I forgot to tell you guys that at the White House, that all of the staff is out sick, or, you know, because they're either quarantining or they're just afraid to come in there. But, you know, YSAP returning to the West Wing, he's working in no mask, you know, he's working with his people. I just don't understand what these people, why they're sacrificing possibly their own lives for YSAP. It can't be because they loyal to him. They must fucking be afraid. They must be. Because it has to be a point in your life at some point where you just be like, okay, I cannot be around this man no more. I know that people are ambitious and they've worked really hard to get where they are in their positions. And, you know, it's been a struggle for a lot of people and they finally have made it. And then they have to deal with somebody like a YSAP. But at some point, where do you draw that line? Where do you, inside of yourself, your morals and your values, okay, you looking out for your family, even if you don't get sick, you could take that shit home. Like, well, how you know, child, what happened? It just popped in. Was it dark? I hope it wasn't messed up all that time that I've been talking. Anyway, it's just been a mess. They say that people are around him in medical gowns and, you know, all of the stuff, the face mask and gloves and shit dealing with him. I mean, I could just imagine. I could just imagine what a fucking circus it must be there. And all the people that continue to protect him is just way out. Anyway, you guys, that's enough on YSAP. Okay. Do I have anything else on YSAP? Yeah, I think that's it on the YSAP. Let's get on to these vice presidential debates. All right, you guys. So the debate between Kamala Harris and Mike Pence happened last night. I watched it on CNN, but it was pretty much everywhere. So I wasn't looking forward to watching it because I'm just debated out. Like, I don't give a fuck about what nobody else say in there. I've already made up my mind. Okay, so I only really watched it because I knew I needed to talk to you guys about it. And but it you know, as far as debates go, it was your standard debate. It didn't feel like I was suffering. You know, I looked up and a half hour had passed. You know, I had tweeted that with the Trump Biden debate, I was fucking screaming at the TV by 30 minutes in. So yesterday was a nice change. Okay, I was like, damn, this kind of went by quickly. Yeah, you know, Mike Pence, obviously his team had told him to make sure he got these talking points out. Damn what the fuck the moderator is asking you, because half of the time he was not answering questions that she was talking to him about, you know, asking him. He was doing whatever he wanted to do. He was determined to get that out. I felt like Kamala did well, opened extremely well, because, I mean, if you're going to beat down the current administration, the best way to do that is talk about the COVID-19 failures of the current administration. Okay. So, I mean, that was a no-brainer. You know, I wanted her to take it further and talk more about YSAP, but I also realized that, you know, it is unfortunate, but it is a real thing that, you know, as a black woman, you know, you've got to pick your battles, because next thing you know, people are going to say you angry and you doing this and you doing that, you know, so you've got to stay firm to it. But you know, it's a delicate dance. I wouldn't want to be a part of the team that has to help her try to talk about how far she can go, because I'm sure there are times when you just want to be like, fuck you, and really just go there. But anyway, you know, I think she did a great job. Mike Pence, I mean, he's a great debater. Okay, he don't get excited. He is complimentary to the other person. You know, he tries to make sure he looks sincere, but it actually comes off as like dead inside, almost like robotic. He, you know, you feel like all of the things that he's saying might feel like the right things that he's saying, but you inside yourself, when you listen, and you be like, this ain't right. Like, I'm scared of him, you know, like he's scary. He's so cool as a cucumber that he is scary to me. Like, his hair doesn't move out of place. Shout out to the fly that landed on his hair for a couple of minutes, and that just completely, I couldn't tell you what was said during that time, maybe the next 5 minutes after the fly flew off, because it was such a stark contrast, this black thing on his extremely white hair, that I just laughed about it. I was just like, look at that. You know, people was like, even the fly know when there's shit in the room. But, you know, he does not flinch. He doesn't flail. He doesn't get out of, he is on it. So that lets you know, people that actually have been in politics for a long time, like they have it. But she is also a good debater, and she's smart, and she is on it. So, you know, they matched up well in that way. I don't know if I feel like anybody won that debate. They said that even though it felt like Mike Pence kept talking over, they actually measured the time that they spoke, and they both talked for pretty much evenly. 36 minutes, 30 seconds is the average of what they both had spoken. So they both were able to have equal time to get out their points. And whatever, you guys. I mean, they talked about, I mean, you guys watch what they talk about. I didn't even write down all the topics that they talked about. But I didn't feel any which kind of way. Nothing swayed me. And I don't know if I was an undecided voter, if what they talked about last night would have changed my mind either. And so in that vein, when we look at it that way, the Trump administration needed to be the ones, what's his name? Pence needed to actually wow the audience in order to be the one to win, because they're the one that's trailing. Okay. And from the polls that I saw on CNN, I know that CNN is biased, though. I am aware of that. Even I know that, because CNN they hate Donald Trump. Ooh, they hate Donald Trump. They wanted to say so bad during the whole time that he was in the hospital, you know, that he had took a turn for the worse. They wanted to do it so bad. You know, I sometimes feel like I need to watch a channel that actually is pro-Trump, just so that I can kind of get an idea of what the other side is saying. But I just don't have the patience in me to do it. But I do realize that, you know, because CNN has been completely obsessed with YSAP since the day he's been in office. They don't talk about anything else. Okay. So, but I do think that after I read up again on things this morning, that for the most part, I think that people felt like Kamala did a good enough job where they could trust her if she was in office. They feel like Mike Pence, they feel the same way about him even after the debate. Okay. So, you know, that was it. The things that stuck out in my mind, he did not ever answer when they asked him if there was going to be a peaceful transition if they lost. He said he didn't feel like they were going to lose. Okay, but I was waiting for him to say, but if we do. Of course, he didn't say that, and he never really answered that question. So I'm just like, let me tell you something. If Biden does win, you know, I really cannot wait to see the day when the military got to go in there and get the fisticuffs with these motherfuckers and get them up the hill, up out of the office. I mean, I know that is going to be a fucking show, and I'm going to be sitting front and center. I'm going to be waiting on that, on just watching that whole thing go down. Because something tells me that YSAP will just really try to make it a big ass deal, you know. And the military, especially once they get their orders that you are not you are not YSAP no more, and you know, get them out of there. Oh, they gonna get him out. It ain't gonna be no ifs, ands, or buts about it. They gonna get him out, because the military, go by their orders. And whoever's in charge say, get them out, you going. So yeah, I can't wait for that. But he never answered that. Lied about the military. Speaking of the military, you know, that we've always had the utmost respect for. Come on, everybody knows. You just called them losers, not you, but your boss called them losers. And you know, you are, you know, you like people that don't get captured, you know, who aren't prisoners of war. And I mean, he has never been in the military, you know, dodged the draft or whatever. I mean, like, it's just so many things. So many things. Anyway, what else did you know, Kamala, we didn't never get the answer on that fracking. Look, I don't even know what fracking is. This whole Green New Deal thing that they was talking about, I'm not aware of what Biden's stance is on that, so I couldn't tell you whether or not she was avoiding the questions on that or not. She didn't answer the question about packing the court. I guess if Trump does leave, like, there are certain things that she didn't answer either, but he was way more evasive. But I also feel like he just flat out lied. Okay, it's one thing to not answer, it's another thing to just be lying up there. Okay, so but he does it with such a straight face, girl. It's just like you could just, if he didn't work for YSAP, you would sit there and almost believe him. Okay, but his connection to YSAP is forever tarnished his image, if you ask me. But you guys tell me that before YSAP and him even came together, that y'all was like, oh no, that Mike Pence is even worse. Okay, so that was it. But yeah, what you guys thought about the debate last night? Like, was it anything that just really made you change your mind? Okay, or, you know, I'm assuming that most of you guys who watch me are either Biden supporters or not a supporter of you. I do know that I have some Trump supporters here, and I just want everybody to be able to say how they feel. Okay, so if you you just let me know what you thought about that debate yesterday. Did it change your mind? Will you be voting, or did it change your vote, is what I want to know. Okay, but anyway, y'all leave that below. Let me move it on along. All right, y'all, speaking of voting, yeah, we got some shit going down in Texas. The governor, Greg Abbott, he has only approved one drop-off box for the absent. Why can't I talk, y'all? I ain't had no coffee. He's only approved one drop-off box per county for the absentee votes. Okay, and you guys know that, I mean, a box can only be so big. How many people can we all expect to be going to this one box per county? Okay, I live in Fulton County, which is the hugest county in Georgia. If they only had one drop box, it would be a fucking disaster. There's no way that you could, you know, expect all these people to all go to this one box. And yeah, so he has done that. So he's been accused of voter suppression. There's already 3 lawsuits up against him for this. The latest one is from Anti-Defamation League, which says his order exceeds his authority and imposes an unconstitutional right on voters' right to vote. Okay, so they're fighting that. I just don't understand why people got to be so. These folks really, really don't want that vote to go through. They are making it as difficult as they can. Okay, even in the debate last night, Pence made sure that he got that point out there again, that, you know, voting by mail is, you know, a tremendous, what is the word? It has a potential for tremendous fraud, even though it hasn't been for years. You know, it's been fine. Just this 1 year, all of a sudden it's a problem. So they're continuing to try to hammer that into the people. Just vote early if you can. Okay, just vote early if you can. And there probably will be more of these type of things happening all over, because they say that YSAP is trailing the polls in Florida, Iowa, Nevada, Ohio, Pennsylvania, and Wisconsin. Now, of course, I am always going to tell you guys that the polls, we can't 100% rely on them. You know, we just cannot be that comfortable, because we've seen that mess up. But from what I understand, YSAP doesn't have enough. He won over Hillary. Hillary won the popular vote, but he won the electoral vote, if I'm not mistaken. And in this case, he doesn't have enough electoral votes to win, is the way that I think that I'm reading this. So even if he somehow got the popular vote, it could flip around and be the same situation for him that it happened to Hillary, even though I don't think he will have either. Okay, but if I'm wrong on that, or if I have it not all the way correct, but you know what I'm trying to say, then y'all just go on and say it for me down in them comments, okay? But yeah, you guys, it's just, I just really hope people get out there and vote. You know, I just really hope people get out there and vote for the right person. All right, you guys. And then lastly, Derek Chauvin, who was the police officer in Minneapolis who held his knee down on George Floyd's neck for somewhere around 8 minutes and killed him ultimately. He was released on $1 million bond yesterday. And as of now, he is not in police custody. He had to agree to some terms. Remember, I told you guys that they were offering them all bond, certain amounts, with terms or without terms. However much they paid was going to determine what the terms would be. For all 4 of those officers, well, his was $1 million, and I didn't go back to look and see what his terms were, but it was something like he has to show up to the court, you know, all the court cases. He has to do this, that, and the other, all that. He's being charged with 2nd and 3rd degree murder. I think 2nd degree manslaughter. He's got a lot of charges up against him. He will not go back to court until March. Oh, I think it was March 5th. I have March 8th on here, but I feel like that's a typo. I think it was March 5th, if I can remember correctly, but it's either March 5th or March 8th. But yeah, you guys, so he's out. And of course, the people, when they found out about that yesterday, they were upset. So they did have some protests, you know, in the city where George Floyd was killed. But they were peaceful mostly and didn't have any issues. The police had told the people that they needed to leave at 10:30 p.m. And for the most part, everybody, you know, filed out and went on home. There were some arrests made, but there weren't any looting, and I don't believe there were any fires or anything like that. It was a peaceful protest. But yeah, you guys, when I think about that story too, I'm wondering if Derek Chauvin is going to be, I can't see how he wouldn't be found guilty of murder, because you flat out murdered this man. But it's hard to stay hopeful in these cases. Anyway, you guys, so that is it. Did I get all of my stories? Okay. That's it, you guys. Let's talk about it all in the comments below. All right, you guys, let me get on. Still got to do top of the blogs. Okay, make sure you rate, comment, and subscribe to the channel. I'm itsrox. The channel is for itsrox. Everything else I do will be in the bottom bar. All right. So I hope that you have a wonderful, wonderful rest of your day, and I plan on doing the same. Till next time, Roxstars. Bye.